Kia ora from Aotearoa, and welcome to Guardians of GAIA New and Full Moon Gatherings, the place in cyberspace where Guardians gather to share intel, information, wisdom, and whatever guidance and whatever wants to emerge through our field when we come together. And today, while we have an enormous full moon in Leo, we also are meeting on the solar cross quarter of Imbloc in the Northern Hemisphere, the first signs of spring, and Lughnasadh in the Southern Hemisphere down here in Aotearoa, which some might say is the first signs of the turning of the solar calendar. But right here, it's midsummer, it's very warm, and it's an extraordinary time on the Waitangi Awa, the Waitangi River and estuary, on this trust land where I am, because we are 3 days away from the festivities and celebrations of the Treaty of Waitangi. And that gathering has evolved over time, and it now is a very beautiful gathering of lots of different tribes from around, particularly around the North Island of New Zealand, bring their wakas up here, and there is an enormous festival of celebration of culture that goes on. So I have from dawn conch shells until evening a lot of karakia prayer and waiata song and wakas going past my little cottage on the estuary. So on that note, let us begin by coming into harmonic, into alignment through the holographic field, and see what wishes to emerge through our gathering today. As we align physical, mental, and emotional bodies with all-pervading soul or higher self and monadic galactic self. Activating the earth star 1 foot, half a meter beneath the feet, and connecting through the divergent meridians of the planetary body. Rivers of loose light, agua, water, fuego, fire, and oro, crystal mineral kingdoms, inviting those primordial elements up through our pillars to cleanse, clear, and purify, rejuvenate, recalibrate, regenerate, reorientate, all the way up to the soul star, 1 foot, half a meter above the head, connecting to our celestial selves and our star maps and anchoring them through our physicality and deep into the core of Gaia. Surrendering through the core of Source and the crystalline heart of Gaia, and really exhaling and softening the body as we surrender into the pelvis, into the planetary body, and into being held and supported in this space. Surrendering through the core of Source and our own heart spaces. Core of Source in the heart of the sun and in the heart of the great central suns, activating our solar discs, and through the core of Source in the heart of the moon and in the heart of Theia, and activating our lunar discs, and surrendering through the core of Source in the galactic center into Homo Universalis, our ancient future selves, wherever that is through your own unique system, be it through the pineal gland, our gateway to God, or through the umbilicus. Inhaling, exhaling with sound as we strengthen and fortify our own unique pillar. Inhaling, exhaling with sound as we strengthen and fortify our own unique pillar, the place on the planet where we stand and honoring the guardians in the seen and the unseen realms, and the ancestors of this land. And inhaling, exhaling with sound as we connect around and through the planetary body. And as we maintain that connection, I'd love to hand you over to Casey.
Thank you, everyone. We're going to expand the field of consciousness that we've created at this time, connecting through our heart spaces, connecting through our unified field, anchoring out to the source fields, allowing the furthest reaches of data to come in and join us in the stream of consciousness, inviting in our star families, our star teams to come and be a part of the circle, honoring the guardians, the protectors of the sacred sites, the elemental beings, our inner earth tribes and families that are coming forward, and honoring the places where we have entered into the earth plane, understanding the importance of our entry gates and our exit gates. These are coming into the field at this time. Also, there's an awareness coming forward that this is a pivotal time that we are asked to archive the records of the solar portals, the suns, the solar essence, archiving the records, the data, the information in order for something new to come forward. There's also a request that we archive the data of our monadic soul groups at this time. There is a shifting out, a trading of positions, allowing for higher galactic aspects to come in, to walk in, to join the team. These are beings, family members that we have been waiting for. They are stepping forward at this time as part of the switch out, as part of the momentum forward into the next leveling up for our soul's experience, for our monadic soul experience. This is the 13 becoming one again, and the standing back on the tribal lands, and the calling up of the lands from the ocean to return. There is an awareness of the great Leviathan dragons, the ones that are beginning to wake up and to move again, and holding them in our consciousness field as there are earth changes taking place, connected to their movements. Some of them are changing positions, changing routes, changing guardianship roles, and allowing some of the plates to move in order for there to be easier movement and flow for these largest dragons to have space to move. All of this is coming forward during this pivotal time. The redirection as part of Gaia's ascension. We welcome this into the field. And we wish to begin our journey connected in the circle at this time, allowing more information to drop into the field through the heart spaces of all, and allowing the next steps to come forward through this unified field. If you are ready, we are going to keep this expanded field as we begin our journey, anchoring back into your human vessels, and when you are ready to begin, opening your eyes.
Thank you, Casey. And thank you, everybody who's gathered today and who will be joining us and journeying with us from this point. on the replay. And we would love to hear from anyone else who is with us today, as a lot has been moving through the field, particularly in the last days, as we've also been subject to an influx of more great solar flares, an up-leveling and an undoing simultaneously. Maybe, Casey, you might like to begin with what we were discussing before we came on today, about what in your meetings and in your personal journey and with your clients, what has been emerging through the field.
For the last 2 weeks, I have been on my own journey working through disconnecting through some of the control grids that we have on the earth plane, specifically disconnecting any of my old contracts to the narcissist grid in connection to some of my family systems. And I've previously disconnected from them and created space, but I have been receiving like a backlash because it had been coming through the source of my children in connection to their father. So going through another layer of clearing and disconnecting. My body processed cellularly through a cold, and then my cycle came as another way of kind of clearing out all connections. And then I began to see similar responses coming through my doors of my office through my clients having similar experiences. It's almost as if the control grids right now, the narcissist grid is getting fired up, and it's amplifying in the systems of people that are not grounded in that space. And so all of us that have had that experience and are still connected to those grids, it feels like this is an opening up, an opportunity to disconnect as a way to reestablish that nervous system that's open and relaxed and can step forward.
And without knowing that's what Casey had worked on just in the last few days, what had I'd become aware of is something called the RAS, the RAS. Or, let me get the wording right for you, the Reticular Activating System, which is at the base of the skull here. And, you know, we watch the Matrix, and of course, if Neo needs any downloads, this is where he plugs in. You know, this is a very sensitive and very important point of our connection to all that is our experience of reality, how we filter it. And for the sake of understanding it, I'm just going to read you a short explanation. The Reticular Activating System, the RAS, is a network of neurons in the brainstem that regulates wakefulness, arousal, and sleep-wake transitions, serving as a critical filter for sensory information. It acts as a gatekeeper, determining which stimuli reach conscious awareness and directing attention to important, repeated, or emotionally relevant information while ignoring background noise. So what is not in our awareness is not likely to come in our awareness unless we reset this, unless we expand our sense of reality, take off the blinkers of our beliefs to let in more than what we're aware of. And when I realized this and started looking at ways of working with it, it felt so important that I put it into the syllabus of Mastery of Multidimensionality this year, because it's a really important access point where we can reset our whole nervous system and our experience of reality, and resolve any trauma or filters that we have on our experience of reality through past experience or programming. And I'd love to hear if anyone else has any contributions to make there. Raylene, let me just help you.
Yeah, this point is the zeal point, or the mouth of God. So in its true essence, it allows us to remain connected to Source. It has been heavily infiltrated, but at the same time, we're learning to hold our innate frequency patterns and not being pulled back into the, what was. It's coming up, I feel, because we have moved back into the pre-fall codex, and so we're able to hold and stabilize our emotional bodies and our mental bodies without being pulled into what was, and to be able to move into now was not then. And so with that, yes, a lot of ancestral clearing, but not just to do with our earthly ancestral clearing, also to do with exo ancestral clearing. And this is very much about what's clearing out within the gate systems right now, and why, it's the buzzword. Stargates are the buzzword, particularly to do with the Holy Lands, and that gateway where this was very much the zeal point, or the mouth of God, was shut down. And yeah, we're moving back into pure gnosis now. And this is a game changer in the sense that we're able to connect in with gnosis in ways that we haven't done for many epochs. And I'm not talking about Gnostic teachings or things that have been around for the last few thousand years. I'm talking about being able to connect in through the mouth of God, and to be live streaming through pure gnosis. Not as, isn't that amazing that that person can do that, that all of us can do this, and that acknowledgement of what we're holding innately is returning to us as this solidified knowledge. The wisdom is solidifying the knowledge and bringing back the true knowledge without everything being tainted or overwritten. That we just accept wholesale things outside of ourselves that actually don't hold resonance in our bodies. We're actually moving back into recognizing or precognizing discordant energies and the fragmentation, and we're able to bring these together and reharmonize our harmonic blueprints, which is moving back into claiming ourselves as originators of these blueprints and the founder flame races that came here to establish the gates originally, the originator gates. Thank you.
Thank you, Raylene. And yeah, through that we once again restore mastery of discernment in this dimension and others, because the wisdom lies within. Thank you. Anyone else have anything to contribute? Saret?
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Just to perhaps share that the energy center that is referred to is the altar major. And we are on the process, the planetary body of Gaia Sophia already went through that, where the altar major of the point just below the A atlas in our physical expression is connected to our individual crown and the energy centers on the sides of our ears, and then our pineal and the back energy center. And that forms this golden diamond sphere, which is in the process of recalibrating to reconnect our knowingness of who we are to the true source of creation, so that that whole sphere is connecting to the sphere of the original codes of creation, which is aligning then to our soul's essence in our crystal hearts, and then also within our womb space, where that full alignment is taking place. As that has occurred for Gaia, it is allowing the sovereign space for all individuals to also experience that for themselves, if that's what they choose. And therefore, Casey, I'm also connected to many souls that is currently sharing that they are feeling that in their physical expression, purely because this is language that's used a lot out there, but it is the truth that all that is not fully in alignment with our true source connection is just moving out as a way to support our physical embodied experience to align with our original crystalline architecture that we, in the moment of conception of the whole cosmos, were already emanating out through our soul's expression. And as we have over all the many epochs that we traveled through, and simultaneously therefore traveled through the whole cosmos, through all the universes and galaxies in our solar system, our Milky Way galaxy is receiving an influx of all those codes, so that on an individual level, we can remember the fullness and the wholeness and the truth of our original codes of creation for each one of us individually, as that is already experienced by Gaia as the holy child of the cosmos. And therefore she's emanating that out for each one of us to remember more fully our connection to that. And this is a beautiful opportunity to discern exactly what's coming into our individual emanation, and that it's only in alignment with Gaia's emanation and in alignment with the emanation of our original source codes. So that therefore, as we continue to be guided through our grounding of that experience, can truly support Gaia, who is the benevolent steward of our Milky Way galaxy. And it is a co-relationship between us and Gaia at the moment, but a very individual one. And as each one of us continue to focus on our sovereign compass, our crystal heart, all that is already there will be remembered more fully, because the only shift that is really occurring is our shift in our awareness of it being so, because it is already so. And Yeah, and the connection, therefore, between the altar measure and our golden. It's actually at this stage a very much trinitized presence of our earthly, our lunar, and our solar consciousness merging and moving into our hearts, so that our crystal heart become this emanation of that unified presence. That is very much a grounded experience at this stage, and just to continue to listen to. So all our sovereign senses is guiding us. So our internal compass is guiding us with every step. And I've just noticed we are 12 that is present here. And it feels like that 12 is allowing for that individual expression to emerge. Now, we're not 12, we're 13. So we're 12 screens, but we are 13 people. So that's the 13 that we were referring to.
No, we've
So
actually just come down to 11 screens and 12 people.
Oh, is it? Oh, wow. Yes, so that is supporting the configuration that is occurring just between us in the moment. So that I just got my whole body got goosebumps as I expressed that. So that alignment that is occurring in the core of the crystalline essence of Gaia is simultaneously occurring within our crystal hearts, and therefore not only activating more fully the awareness of our full connection, but also supporting us to very gracefully and softly and gently allow that connection to our source codes to be received fully, so that which so naturally and organic occurs in our bodies can do so as we continue to therefore also become the sovereign benevolent stewards with Gaia in support of the ascension of the whole galaxy. Yeah, and what an honor to do so. Thank you.
Thank you. John.
Yeah, hi everyone. Just with you, Leanne, talking about this place at the back of the neck just reminded me of a process we do in our workshop, which is actually called the activation of the beams of light. And when we see pictures of the Christ, we see the halo around the Christ head. And that halo can't form unless these beams that are contained that are actually activated, and they exist through here and through here. But there's also a 45-degree one that actually comes out at that place at the back of the head as well too. And the activation process involves working with them and with intention, connecting a filament that's inside our head to the pineal gland so that all those filaments are connected. And then when the filaments are activated, they're pulsed to activate them so that they're pulsed properly. And once that those systems are activated, that means that the halo within the system can be functioning as well too. And that's just part of a process that involves other things. And there are more beams than that we've been told about than what we actually work with as well too. But yeah, that just kind of triggered me and reminded me of that as well too. So thank you.
Thank you for your contribution. It reminds me of the anking process that Drumbarlo describes. Once that's activated, is to be able to exercise it like a muscle.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm wondering if Robin and her cat have anything to share.
Sure. What's been showing up really strongly for me is this aquatic uh, I want to say DNA, but the Nomo have been coming very strongly. And I even want to go back before they've been here. Um, I did a journey to Lake Titicaca. I was taken there, and I went down deep to the bottom, to the depths of Lake Titicaca, and I have visited there in person. But there was this huge eel-like being that I merged with, and so I was looking, all I could hear was primordial, and I could see like an eel. But when I looked up primordial eels, I got the Basilosaurus. And so I was thinking, wow, I've heard that name before. And I woke up one morning and I was told, you need to tell Raylene. And so I messaged Raylene, and she reminded me about the Whale Valley in Egypt, which I visited last March. And so that was a direct connect with her because she was actually on her way to Bolivia or Peru. So, well, Raylene, I'll let you speak next and then I'll share the rest.
Yeah, it was quite something. I said, yeah, well, trust your gut on that one because I'll be there in a few days. And so that was something. But I was on Lake Titicaca for the 1212 gateway access. And as I've spoken here before, and as Lee knows, I've had the experience where I was at Tani Mahuta in Aotearoa, the giant kauri tree who has a beautiful relationship, symbiotic relationship or a skin connection with that kauri tree's bark, the skin connects with the whales. And I was taken into the inner ocean that regulates all the oceans on the surface, and which all their impulsing and currency flows from this great mother ocean. Because originally we were one landmass, one ocean, one oceanic consciousness, and one heartbeat. And so I just felt I needed to share that first before I go in. But yes, there are these types of whales that are in Wadi al-Hitan, the Valley of the Whales in Egypt. There are also, connections to this in Australia where this was all ocean in ancient times. And many of these fossils that have been found of the Basilosaurus in ancient marine deposits, also in the deserts in Peru. So it's a whole global phenomenon with these beings. And the transmission came through as whales slipstream through the Milky Way, also through Cetus constellation, and especially within other cycles of galactic evolution through Sirius B. These star mirror gateways are aligned with the true originator gates here on Earth, which starry cetaceans still maintain access with. Those holding the pure Sirian Genesis code combined with the pure Orionic C coder of Orion combined create this cosmic reordering within themselves. So the disability to create the proportion or the propulsion necessary to hold charge in anchoring and alchemizing subtle material architecture with our material geometric patterns is now being healed, reconnected. So this is rainbow bridging architecture, rainbow diamond architecture, which is to say the bridging of our source encoded consciousness in bringing forward suspended fluidity required to reanimate omnidimensionality on the surface of Earth with the support of the great cetacean nation. So this is naturally occurring now as many are remembering their exchanges with the Nomos, the great stellar cetacean nation. So these Earth humans hold the Genesis mission harmonic gold printing codex within themselves, within their form, as meta keys. So there are whales within our inner world that came to surface Earth, and some traverse the celestial rivers into interdimensional realms of Earth. Our inner Earth holds a vast variety of cetacean genus and also stellar orders. So these are distinct groups of ancestral whales that will come through now that the intergalactic portals are realigning again through the shifting of the dragon kingdoms, the dragon palaces, via the tectonic plate systems of the Earth. Particularly, a lot of the movement is happening within the oceans of this realignment. So there are whales that can adapt to briny or sweet water, and this fusion will create highways of plasmic combining. Sky water, sweet water, salt water, and we are clever water. We are the way of water, alchemizing it all. So a lot of the whales don't need to come to surface Earth to breathe the air. They reside within a realm where there's a milky air substance which sustains their respiratory response. And I've been to these places, these realms, and breathed this milky substance through my lungs with ease. And why we all have this capacity is because this is what we experience in the amniotic fluid of our mother in the womb, where our lungs are filled with this amniotic fluid. And the milk of the mother too supports this function as it supports the embryo. So all kingdom collectives hold this mother's milk in essence. Milky sap from plants and resin from trees, all different minerals such as milky quartz and also ringwoodite within the inner ocean, within our Earth, which holds this. So this sustains the whales, this elemental and molecular combining. So this ringwoodite and this amniotic fluid, which really is the aquifers of our planetary body, sustains cerebral spinal fluid. In other words, holding our planetary in the vertical axis. So because the amniotic fluid creates cerebral spinal fluid. And so we're being shown how certain species of ancient creatures have survived without the need to engage with surface Earth elements, such as water in the state that we know it, or also air. So there are more aquatic species in the depths of our oceans that are interfacing through ringwoodite in ways that sustain their respiratory function and system. And they are having a profound effect now as the gateways are aligning in bringing their gnosis to surface Earth. And it is through their breath. So all we need to do is to connect in with that, is to breathe and intend that we are welcoming them back, our brethren who have been holding the gateways open on our behalf for so long. And now the gates are changing and shifting up. There is a handing over of the scepters to us. And so surface Earth was cut off for a while, and however the cetaceans from Cetus specifically have still been able to traverse interdimensional realms unhindered. But when Sirius B imploded, the cetaceans of that star system came to Earth. However, not all entered through the surface Earth portals. They entered through these gateways. So many chose to experience other layers of Earth's dimensionality, and many are wanting to interface through more familiar forms of consciousness and dimensionality as their home star systems. So we are releasing this and they are releasing this. they're releasing the trauma of the bodies needed to do with the implosions of their home stars that they experienced and carried. And the depth of the oceanic environment provides them with the depth of trauma release for us all too now. So the oceanic underworld is a more gentle way for us to integrate underworld initiations as an initiatic rite of passage for being on the earth. So as the cetaceans have all had the vibrational reference points of exchange, they can best support our systems in alchemizing both solar plasma, because they are the ones that disseminate this through hydroplasma in the oceans at a rate we can assimilate and absorb without frying out our wiring or tripping the switch on our innate biotech. So as the interdimensional fluidity of Earth's waters holds a similar molecular bonding pattern as amniotic fluids that we experienced in the womb of our mother, these are now really alchemizing our cerebral spinal fluid. So if we remember that Sirius is the highest self of our galaxy and Venus, the sea star, is the highest self of our planet, we can see how all is interfacing with this harmonic patterning with various levels of vibratory motion and harmonic exchange throughout many omnidimensional levels. So many of the cetaceans still there in the inner ocean. And this pure plasma of the Great Mother Ocean within our Earth regulates not only all the surface currents, but also our harmonic fluidity. So on the 1212 gateway, there was an aquiline portal which opened to the sun that had not been open for, I don't want to say time, but for many experiences of consciousness at that level. So every species on surface Earth will experience an elemental and molecular resurgence now. And this mother's milk is sustaining all life through amniotic fluidity. So this is the way of true mammalian states. So mammals and the mammalian brain are going through a huge octavating through this spiralic codex that allows the blood song to recreate spin paths in varying octaves and omnidimensionality simultaneously through our golden blood plasma. So it's mammals that hold the Milky Way's magnetic fields in alignment with interfacing with our interdimensionality here on the Earth. So because the Earth is the crown jewel influencing everything galactically and cosmically. So oceanic volcanoes are the terrestrial gateways, and that's why there's been so much rocking and rolling. But we have a lot of support, and our bodies are also supporting those who are aware of their capacity to hold this now and support the tectonic plates. You know, originally with the pre-Lemurian codex, volcanoes were not reactive. They were responsive to the Earth Mother's body. And we're moving back into that now with the tectonic plates and the volcanic chain systems as they animate and realign. So much of the frequencies of the aquiline sun will influence hydroplasma and this oceanic state in ever-increasing ways now. So everything's converging now through what was achieved through the 1212 gateway. So I just want to show so much gratitude to everyone for what you're holding down. It is no small feat, and it is our oceanic consciousness and coming together in this way that is really having a profound effect, not only individually, but when one of the monads arrives and is able to anchor and alchemize without aborting mission, it influences everyone. And not just within monads here, monads throughout other realms of dimensionality. And it is through the gateways now that our avatars and the dimensional facets of self are able to come through. That's why so many timelines are dropping for now, and so many are experiencing walk-in experiences, because they're not just coming through the dilation of the womb of the mother, of the birth mothers. Now they're coming through the dilation of the womb gates, and they're able to actually alchemize and merge with us now. And it's incredible what's happening. People are experiencing walk-ins, but they're not separate from self. They are the dimensional facets of self coming into consciousness here now within this realm. So thank you, everyone.
So I also would like to just add, I had an experience with a shark today at the ocean, and it was a bonnet head baby shark that was actually washed up, and it transferred something to me that I would like to share if it's okay, and it's connected to, I guess, the gateways, the maps, and how to navigate. Okay, so just taking a deep breath, and I'm just bringing in the energy of these sharks. Dahalekitom mehelachat u kuchan silikiana. And they are just helping us to remember our navigation abilities. Mihelaku mahatia dikansukola ki tansu iet a muhat I ki sansu pe a yet na ue kalahet ai nahasut mahat e kwa elekina sutene muhai et ayesa at ela o nahai ku hasele muhai et au maha wa et au ane et ala kwita esat ne nahale ui ya de ese muhat e kena et au mahuat esakia kemat ui naha et ela wa hasila awena mahai naha u ne kieta nahat e tahasotota nasa e matai na toya nahat ikia satone nahati tatu to kuane nihatatu tabisekiane. And they're saying that these new travel routes are now open to us. Thank you.
And I would like to say that the sharks and the rays are the protectors of the oceanic gateways. And this behind me is actually the 12 as one dolphin dreaming temples, that they are the protectors of those gateways. Taria nohorota ki eata. So they are sharing with us that it is through us they need our support in being able to not misconceive of ourselves. Tororota ki heata karoto ko hiene heate teate. Naroto ko osoyete ki erato ko oto. Naroto ko osiete ki erato ko orete ki esaya naharoto ko. E papaya naha aroto ki isa toko. kore tiki. Hero toko ora nini. E tine nana i te ni isayana haro toko. Oro toko i e te kena. Koeta 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 koro toko oi ne hita karo to ti. Nā poia ne hera. E roto kore te ki. Kia nā, kia nā, kia nā. So again, it's like that mother, that fiery mother, is opening up the sight. And we are learning again to look at each other with fire in the eyes. And as we move into this fire horse, it is about opening up divine sight. To be able to speak from the mother's tongue again without it being severed. To be able to soar with our wings without them being clipped. To be able to traverse through all elements and not just to move through them with ease and grace, but to bring in the primordial harmonic blueprinting systems that we are upgrading and activating now. We are here. And it is truly glorious. Maria Kone.
Thank you both, Raylene and Robin. Soretta, did you have something else you'd like to contribute?
As we were opening earlier, I received that vision and it keeps on being within me, and therefore would like to share that now. The remembrance that we are our cosmic expression. And what I'm seeing is there's two original cosmic dragons that has always been there, always will be there, and emanating the crystalline codes throughout the whole cosmos. And to remember within the crystal heart of each one of us, and in the center within each one of our cells, in the very essence of our crystalline expression and chromosomes, are the codes within us. And each one, in each moment, with each breath, remembering yourself as your own true architecture, your cosmic architecture that is within you and always there. As you return to your crystal heart, all that is occurring with outside of us is distracting that which is occurring within us. To go into our crystal hearts, connect to our original codes of creation within the very crystalline chromosomes of our being, and all will be made known, and know that with every breath, all is unfolding, expanding, configuring, realigning, re-emerging, and reawakening to the truth of our one source consciousness, the only true guide, the source of all light, all life, and all love, breathing through us in every moment. And all of our awarenesses as it moves within the essence of our own beings And so too all other humans, animals, plants, crystals, minerals, and elemental properties is all doing the same, because the true cosmic reveal of our cosmic Mother Father is within the hearts of all to know for themselves. Always guided, always supported within ourselves. And as we share with each other, as we are doing, the remembrance is becoming clearer and clearer in every moment. Thank you.
I would like to acknowledge Anna Katarina. She has been very, very busy weaving and being like the glue for a lot of things going on the planet.
Can you hear me?
Yes. What time is it there now?
Oh no.
No time.
5 o'clock. 5 o'clock in the morning. So
Oh, we've just lost Anna Katarina. I'm sure she'll be back because she's probably just pushed the wrong button.
Yeah, it looked that way.
Yeah. And we can't blame her. She's been up since 4 a.m.
Yeah, she's been a busy bee.
She has been very busy.
Yeah.
Here she comes. Get her back online.
so now that was a little flashback. Good morning. What I received actually, like now directly to the work today in the morning, was that bring back the stolen codes to a place that will be shown today. There is a very strong work coming up, and there was something going on when Robin was talking and sharing the shark, and they said the sharks will bring back the memory for all of you. And I saw, while she was talking, I saw 5 or 6 souls standing in a circle, and they were working with white plasma. They were weaving something. It was happening at the same time. And while Raylin was talking, it was so beautiful because I was brought to the floor, to the ground of the oceans, and it was this crystal clear water and sunbeams coming through, and then there started these bubbles coming out of the sand or the ground of the ocean, and they were like golden. They were like something was starting to become alive while she was talking. So about this place, I still wonder, bring back the stolen codes. There was something with the spinal fluid as well, when Raylin talked about it, the spinal fluid of the earth. But I bring it into the circle like for all of us, what it could be. There are so amazing, gifted people here now. I could share, like I have been weaving myself the last days in different places, but it is like weaving through all the dimensions again, like with the dragons. But I would like to focus on what we did right now, and it feels so much with this oceanic consciousness and some place that will receive back. And they said there is a very strong work coming up, actually. So there is really something we can do together today. Let's see what it could be.
As you speak into the field, South Africa is coming up very strong. And we've been working a lot down there over the last month. And that's where Soretta and Chanel are right now.
Mm. I'm picking up the great whites.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they have been very, very active, very, very, present. Mm-hmm.
I was sharing in a mentoring session because when I was just flying from Australia to South America, I actually hugged all the way along. My flight map allowed me to work with the overview where I flew actually the whole way, hugging Antarctica, and then just went up again. So I went down all the way across and then back up. But I was shown that in South Africa, Pacifica, Australia, and Pacifica, and all the way over to South America, that there was a triuning of energy coming down to Antarctica, and that South Africa is yet to come online with that, connecting into the high altar of Lemuria in Antarctica. And I felt just now that the great whites were opening up an ancient oceanic pathway that had not been opened for a very long time.
It's beautiful. They say the right place will receive the codes. So it is happening. It is already happening. Mm-hmm.
Raylan, when you were speaking light language, I got this big activation happening in like the fissures of my cranial bones. It was like there was a spreading out of my cranial bones, and they were drawing attention to the plates, the oceanic plates that are going to start moving and shifting. And also, too, they wanted to make me reference that this particular place, like the soft spot on the human, is the entry or exit gate for some of the soul to enter and exit from. As part of that monadic aspect wants to drop in more. It's like through this aspect has to open up in order for that to portal in through the human to anchor in.
I work with this as an activation through the fontanelle. And yes, it seems to be a more advanced process or protocol of the toroidal field, and we know that dolphins and whales, they blow toroidal bubbles and they play with them and they swim through them. But there's something to do with the fontanelle again that it never really does close over. And I was actually talking with a man who has a private collection while I was in Nazca in Peru, and I spent quite a few hours with the ancient skulls that he has, and we were talking about the fontanelle, and we were talking about the information in the sutras, and how this is all connected with, it's all linked up with the information that it remains open now. It remains open, and that which has been closed over is no more. And it was quite profound what the skulls were saying. It's like Nazca, and that this was all ocean before, and that they were talking about that oceanic consciousness, and even we saw a dragon with one eye opening up in the Andes, in the Andes as you approach Nazca. It was quite profound. But there are many that I know, that the crystal skulls, the 12 crystal skulls, 12 as one, being 13 sequences of no time, time within no time, that the crystalline skulls and the elongated skulls very much work with the whales, with this, with the brain wave function of our planet. Absolutely. I mean, there's so much, but yeah, there's a lot that I've developed as a system that I now share these protocols with. Last year was all about Earth Mission Crew, and not taking groups or gatherings or journeys, but just working with, just key people and traveling. And I only just realized just over a week ago that I went to 14 places around the planet, and the significance of that was the remembering of the dismembered parts of Genesis. It's not, we see it as a one-off event, but outside of linear time, Genesis is perpetually occurring, and it was the gene Isis of this remembering, putting back the 14 parts of her beloved Osiris that was chopped up by his twin brother Set. And so I only just realized that I had gone to restore the mother's body in these 14 places around the planet last year. And yeah, it was quite an interesting experience on my body when that actually consciously clicked in about a week ago. Thank you.
Can I just add something here? Because, Raylene, when you mentioned the fontanelle, there is a process again within what we do where the pineal gland, which is like an eyeball, it has a lens and it has receptors in it as well too, but it looks up through the fontanelle, and that's we're bringing that energy and vision through there too. But part of the process of awakening the light body involves the physical rotation of the pineal gland to the 45-degree point where it is looking out through the third eye point in the forehead as well too. So I just had that memory when you mentioned that too. So thank you.
Thank you. And it reminds me of the work last year was very much with opening up the pineal portals. This happened through the 5 pine cones in Angkor Wat, and then was taken to key locations all around the world, including the pine cone in the Vatican, and the whole lens of the pineal looking through the fontanelle is actually the star mirror technologies, and this is part of the realignment that's happening through the intraterrestrial. See, the intraterrestrial realms have always been connected cosmically and galactically, but they were severed on surface Earth. They were malaligned on surface Earth, to be more precise. And so this is what's happening with the realignment of the Genesis mission that's happening now. And this year is all about Genesis mission. So I'll be returning to Angkor Wat because what's happened in the last month is that a lot of the ancient technologies and devices have come back online, because there are many that are walking in with their avatars to actually work with the biotech now in ways that are tamper-proof. So again, this is a game changer. Yeah. So yeah, it's involved, but that's a gist of what's happening and why so many are dropping the timelines and having the walk-in experiences of being able to do things that they weren't a week before and have conscious recall of it all.
Just wanted to add, thank you. I just wanted to add, there's one other thing that Dromvalo has come online with us just recently, and he's asked us to do an exercise, and in many cases he doesn't know what it will do, but he said that he wants us to, in meditation, go into the portal that he calls the tiny space of the heart, which is the portal to all that is. And he said within that portal there are light codes. There are codes written within there that we need to get in order to bring back to the pineal gland, and that is part of awakening the telepathic element within the pineal gland, which all people will begin to do in these times that are happening now as well too. So that's something that we'll be working on as well too.
Yeah, and that's that plasmatic exchange, that, you know, the plasma pools and the plasma portals that are allowing us to stay in this heart coherence now, and having the mind to heart gates completely in coherence with each other now. And that's the pure gnosis that I was referring to as well.
Thank you.
There's a lot going on.
Thank you, everyone. Is there any other contributions to today's journey? Anna Katrina?
Yeah, very shortly, when Raylan was talking about the crystal skulls, I got this picture of Mother Earth like being a huge crystal skull herself. Yeah, the whole Earth is a huge crystal skull, and was pointing to different parts in the skull. That was just a picture coming up.
Yes, and that's why we have our ability to repattern the brainwave, because she's doing that naturally, and we are doing that unconsciously. But all that brainwave repatterning is occurring because of that crystalline. It's what I call going live at the crystal palace, switching on all the higher gland centers within our brain. And all of the work last year to do with the tectonic plates was activating all these different brain layers that correlate with the brain plates, correlating with the tectonic plates, and receiving a lot of processes and protocols which were actually physically achieved in these 14 key places that were severed. So, yeah.
Wow. Thank you, everybody, for your contributions to a very rich, multidimensional meal on this full moon. A very nourishing smorgasbord for people to take what resonates with them from, and to make space to receive. And a good reminder to take care of our physical bodies during these major transformations. You know, to take these bodies into our earthly waters is one of the greatest gifts we can give them at this time. I consider the ocean waters as the amniotic fluid of our incarnate bodies. And it is so supportive when I take my body into the Mama Pacifica, into the Pacific Ocean every day. And it's just like a quantum shift happens. It's like instant integration of what's coming through to the planetary body gets integrated into our physicality. So it's definitely worthwhile for all of those that are able to and live near the ocean, and for those that aren't, even to take time to go to your nearest water sources, be them rivers, lakes, or oceans, to support during this time.
I'm actually going there right now. I've got a massive rock pool, but it's huge, and there's a ledge where the waves come crashing over direct from the ocean, and you can go and stand in under a ledge and have this oceanic waterfall pour out in front of you, or go under it if you want, or just observe the codes coming down through the water. So I'm going to head there now, and there's actually a sphinx there called Sphinx Rock. And so, you know, if Muhammad can't get to the mountain comes to Muhammad. So, yeah, got the Sphinx codes there too. And she is the conductor. She's the conductor of the orchestra pit of the cetaceans and the whale song that's carried all around our planetary body. And that's Tefnut. That her name is Ruti, and her elemental name is Tefnut, which means moisture or water. So, yeah, It's exactly as you say, Lee. We have to engage with the body, remembering that we are clever water, the salt water, the sweet water, the sky water. It's all in us. We are clever water, alchemizing it all here now, acupuncturing the earth body.
Thank you, Raylene. Lovely to have you with us today, too, because we haven't been on since your trip to South America. So it's
No.
a gift.
Lots of integration.
Yeah.
Lots of restructuring.
Thank you. And thank you, everybody, for sharing this extraordinary journey today. And as we return fully intact onto the earth plane, I'd love you to hand you over to Casey for closure.
Thank you, everyone. We're going to just disconnect our fields gently, anchoring back into our individuated systems of light, allowing the source codes to come and drop in, mix and mingle into our energy bodies, our light body systems, allowing that plasmic field from the ocean to come on in, welcoming her, and stepping into our remembrance portals even more. With such gratitude, we'll give thanks to our human vessels, our human bodies, allowing us to have richness and depths through our journeys, giving gratitude for our soul family connections that we can connect to all over the earth plane. And with so much love, we'll bring an end to our journey today, anchoring into our human bodies, adding some gentle movement, breathing deeply into yourselves. And when you're ready, opening your eyes and coming all the way back into your space.
Thank you, Casey. And just a reminder for everyone who's joining our journey from the replay, that everyone you've met here today are practitioners and facilitators in their own right. So if you feel resonant with anyone and are in need of support at this time, please do not hesitate to reach out with those that you are called to. And we'd like to put the information of connection with everybody's links on the beneath the YouTube replay so that you can find us. And also to let you know that registration is open for Mastery of Multidimensionality 9-month mentorship for 2026. And it's an extraordinary journey of remembrance within the unified field of love with sisters and brothers who are committed, dedicated to their soul service and planetary work.
I just got a quick message that there is a table being laid, and I just keep seeing like a cornucopia, a table being laid, and we're all invited. And it was Table Mountain, but there's a table being laid of feasting, of Earth's rich abundances now.
That's beautiful. And I have a feeling we might be meeting at that table, obviously in the space in between, but on the upcoming new moon gathering as well.
Yeah. Oh, and I just got a video from the head priest at Basuki's temple, the Dragon Mother's temple in Bali, and he sent me a video because it was Marga Purnima. It was a very, and they had been very auspicious moon, full moon, and he sent me a video, and he said they've been celebrating and doing ceremonies all week. So it's also Marga Purnima as well.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And literally, we are 2 weeks away from the new moon and Chinese New Year and entering the year of the fire horse.
The
So
quickening.
it is. It's a good time to do that spring cleaning, unpack all that no longer serves, and make space for what wants to emerge. Yeah. Well, much love, everyone. Aroha nui from Aotearoa until we meet again in 2 weeks' time. Journey well. Thank you for being.